Hello, and welcome to another episode of playing Crusader Kings 3 using the hardest possible rule set. Starting in 867 as the Chieftain of Vestfold, Haraldr, Tanglehair, Yngling. This is our third episode. I think over our first two episodes we have faced more adversity than we did in the entirety of our prior series where we started in 867 and played 19 episodes. Our father died early, that is to say our original character. We had our duchy taken in a war, so now we are simply a count. We hold 4 counties. Because we don't have the duchy title, we can't give away any lands without the person we give them to becoming independent, so it makes it very difficult for us to conquer anything. And so we're really trying to figure out what our next move is. One possibility would be to try to Varangian adventure somewhere and take some land. Concern about that is you can see that there are already some scourge conquerors who have largely divided up Europe. Haston has now become Emperor Haston. Despite having a number of elder traits, he rules Francia. You see here's most of Western Europe and Eastern Iberia. Almost Arpad, who quite frequently seems to become a scourge conqueror, owns this large Carpathian empire. Sweden, this is the son of Bjorn Ironside, not a scourge conqueror, but still rules a good bit of Sweden. You can see the Ogas here, led by a scourge conqueror. China has collapsed, as it almost always does, in the 867 start date. But there's not a lot of quote-unquote free land that we can go grab. So we'll have to think about what we can do. One of the things, playing at this level of difficulty, I often preach is patience. Often we don't have to go immediately do something. We can just sit here, build up, become stronger. And I do think that is what we want to do. Let's get a master of the hunt. Excellent. Maybe we will go on a hunt. The idea of getting more prestige, which is what we really need here. Because we're tribal, we're paying for our army with prestige. We have a medium-sized army, I think, for this point in the game. If we got more prestige, that would help us. Other thing I want to think about doing is okay. About to say we can think about claiming our liege's title, but the issue is that our old liege just died, and we see our new liege is also just extremely powerful, much larger army than ours. So I don't think we're going to be able to fight him for the title of Viking, unfortunately. So yeah, I think let's start with the traditional Viking activity of raiding, and then after that we'll think about doing some activities, I believe. See where the good raiding option. Not Francia, since Haston is not at war. Wessex looks good. I'm guessing it has largely been raided to death, including by us. I guess we can go take a look at it. Alba is too powerful. Carpathia is at war against the Byzantines, so we could probably sneak in and get some of these, raid some of these lands in Carpathia here, while almost Arpad's main army is going to be all the way across the map. Almost certainly take the skill point increase. Love having high skills. See here if I am I guess I am not leading a raid. I think I want to. I'm not a raider yet, am I? Am I a berserker? Wait, no, that's not me. Okay, let's get me in there. And actually look at my character. Yeah, I want to, raid enough so I can at least get Viking. I think we'll just take this option because we're sadistic. Making a truce is going to be just give us, massive amounts of stress. So we're never going to do it. We'll simply never think about getting a truce. Here you can see, those 8,000 troops. That's some Scandinavian adventurer going to attack the Britain or the north coast of France. We are on apocalyptic Scandinavian adventures as part of playing on the hardest possible rule set. So there are going to be tons of the 9,000 man Scandinavian adventure armies heading down to attack other people. So this is one of the great things about being a Viking, being to a lesser extent being tribal generally, is raiding. If you don't know what else to do, just raid. So I think I've already determined our personal deity, right? We are, yes, devotee of Uller, which is what we want. Guy is a great champion, 23 prowess, get him married, so we make sure he stays in our court. So we could beat these guys, get more prestige and piety. Yep. That's a beefy looking man there. But again, prowess of 22. That's just great. I'm happy to bring him on board. See, we're not yet married. We are betrothed to this genius. We ourselves are intelligent. It's one of the few things that's gone right about this run is the genetic program. Getting those very strong intelligence traits into our dynasty early. We are a diplomacy focused character. I'm going down the middle tree to get as much prestige as we can. We call it the August tree, Majesty tree. Since we're tribal, prestige is probably the most important thing to us. Gold is still important, but I would say that prestige even more so. This will be the last town we raid here, and then we will head back to our lands, drop off our loot. This champion is not quite as good as the first two, but still quite serviceable. When we get back, we can probably build some buildings in our holdings. We can make our army even stronger. I think that's what we'll start with. We'll go with this guy is only 11. I mean, we'll let him go. Hopefully he'll come back at some point. I might have made a different decision if it was one of my 20 plus prowess knights that we just hired. Right, we'll disband. I'll look. Yeah, war camps would be what we might want. Get more knights, knight effectiveness. We're heavily focused on heavy infantry, so this also improves our heavy infantry. Let's go ahead and start constructing that. It's a long travel time. We may want to hold our own grand tournament. I think we have that's a lot of gold. Maybe we don't. Let's see if we just go on a hunt. As a way to get prestige. We want as much prestige as we can get. Yeah, that's much more affordable. Alright. So we'll do this and then probably go back to raiding. And then really we're just trying to build up the power of our character and see what we can do in terms of finding opportunities. Again, Varangian, having a Varangian adventure somewhere to get different duchy, get out under the thumb of our current liege, maybe what we want. I think we are going, hunting raptor. Okay, let's get the hunting raptor to get the increase in prestige. Almost certainly the pressed aster. I mean, it's a little bit of prestige, not very much. I think let's do the top option. I guess we'll do this, but though actually I think I want to shoot it more than attacking it with a spear. I don't want to risk my character's life, especially when we don't have a son. I mean, we got some prestige. I see it, pretty nice chunk there. Let's look into holding another war camp, maybe even a couple war camps. So we have more knights, more powerful army. Yeah, I think that's all worth it. Lost our tutor, which is probably not too important here. There's one thing let's look at is our father did have a lot of children before he died. Let's try to see if we can get them married. We might not be able to, but if we can, guess just this one is unmarried. We'll see if there is anyone with good genetic traits that we could marry her to. Well, this looks like probably the best option. Again, we're going to do some more raiding. Neither Carpathia or Francia is at war, so we don't want to raid them because they're not at war. That could mean that their entire armies could come down on our heads. I think let's go take a look at Britain and see what sort of raiding opportunities they have. Would be nice to be able to get some more troops, but again we're really limited by our prestige here. And that's quite far away. Also, we want to be leading our forces here when we go raiding. So again, we want to raid enough to get the Viking trait. So there's a bit of a plague in Frisia and Jorvik, so I don't really want to raid there. We'll raid down here. There are at least a few places that look available. Though someone else is already raiding down here. It's truly the age of the Vikings. Just Vikings everywhere raiding. Our father wasn't the only big historical character to die early. Alfred the Great also died very soon into his reign. Sure, why not? He's a 15 prowess. That's, a decent knight. Again, get him married. When I say knight, I mean technically champion. Let's see where these other raiders go, and then we'll go somewhere else. Raid the capital here. Got a nice chunk of prestige. Didn't get any piety, which suggests that the person we fought is himself a also true follower. One thing I did with our father, our starting character, was seduce various women to come into our court to be concubines. I think I'll get married to this genius woman first, hopefully have a genius son, and then after that go back to seducing women to be our concubines. Happy to take that fight. I think that's probably causing attrition, as does that. Go over here to Cornwall, see if we can get anything useful. Generally, I don't want to take attrition. Oh, that's going to be bad. To see if we can win this fight, I don't know. Okay. Happy to get more prestige. Guess we're going to have to fight these guys again. Did lose one of our champions, or at least get him maimed. Let's see. I think we'll raid this one, go down here to this capital, and then that'll be it for this raid. Also look to see if we have any prisoners that can serve as good champions, or if they're otherwise worth releasing, having serve us. Being attacked yet again. Obviously we're winning. Guess fine with doing that. Rather have the gold, really. Actually, I think I'd rather just end our entrenched regency. We should fix the control in our counties to the extent possible. Alright, okay. Again, a lot of adversity in this run. Who'll even be our heir? Our younger brother. Alright, well, here goes. So, the top one, we have a 60% chance of dying, only a 40% chance of surviving. So we clearly want to do the bottom one, which has a 70% chance of survival. Here we go. And there we go. Okay, well, again, in our prior campaign, we had really just 2 rulers because of their tremendous longevity. In this campaign, we can't keep a ruler to save our lives, apparently. All right. So really unfortunate. Who was even betrothed to someone? Okay, at least someone. Maybe they won't have genius children, but hopefully they'll at least have intelligent children. Obviously, we have pretty poor traits here. Arrogant is, relatively good for tribal because of the prestige gain, but yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate because we die, we don't even advance our genetic program. We could have been playing a genius child if things would have worked out. And learning isn't the greatest, frankly, for a tribal character. We'll go actually with diplomacy and majesty focus and try to go up the August tree to fix our prestige. Raise a rune stone here. Raising the rune stone cost us man, I cannot do. Let's just do it. Let's see what happens. Being arrogant is really causing a lot of stress problems. We'll probably host a feast after this. Say she is not destined to rule. I don't want to play as her. Wonder who our heir even is. Another half-brother. You see here in our lineage, just 18 years is our starting character, just 15 years is our second character. So we'll see. Sometimes the characters that look the worst end up, being critical to your dynasty and the overall success of the run. Maybe that'll happen with this guy. I don't know. I think let's start by hosting a feast. We will de-stress and then we will go to university. Try to get the 4th star for our education and proceed from there. For the moment, since I don't think we have any children in our court, we'll have her tutor us. Guess we can get a tiny bit of renown here. But yeah, again, we're playing on the hardest possible difficulty level, so these are the kinds of things that happen. We just have to deal with them and play through them. We are starting in 867, so we have all the time in the world. I'm going to go for this top one to get Fought Thirst, which gives us the extra prestige. Really focused on getting prestige here. Let's completely de-stress. Again, we want to go to university next. I don't know either of these people I really care about. So I want to have a personal physician just Unfortunately, not the option to have a good one. Guess we'll try to increase our monthly lifestyle experience. All right. So you see we got some prestige there among other benefits. Go on our university visit here. It's quite expensive, but it's worth it going to university. Does this character have any decent martial? No. So it's probably not even a great idea to have him lead our raiding parties. Speaking of which, while he's at university, might as well have another raiding party go out. You know, at the moment we actually have a nice chunk of prestige, but we need some gold. Let's try to raid down here. This independent Phrygia. Surprised that Francia or Carpathia haven't conquered it yet. We'll focus on our raid, have our university visits are going on in the background. Let's see if... Okay, they're fighting each other. Francia is invading Carpathia, so we should be able to raid both of them. Their armies will be otherwise engaged. Don't want to get... Alright. Don't want to get any attrition. $120 stress is just too much. I think let's just roll the dice here. It's a lot of prestige we're probably going to lose. Oh wow, we got lucky. Perhaps the first time in this run. We got unlucky. We lost a 92% chance. Certainly getting unlucky that will not be the first time in this run. Okay. Come on. I just can't take that much stress, so we'll do the middle option. Take the top option, and we lose an 85% chance after losing a 92% chance. So this, you know, chances of this university visit going well at all are quite well. I guess we're up at 3, surprisingly enough. Have to see how it goes. But certainly we probably should have been at 4 here if we could have gotten any sort of decent luck. Guess we'll get pedagogy. Maybe open-minded will be useful. You know, if we go conquer somewhere else. Just a lot of difficulty here. I will keep this gold. Let's just take the risk. Of course, at this point in the game, if I die and go to a different character, it'll just be par for the course at this point. I think we can hold a nice cheap hunt again. Get more prestige. It's only 69 gold. Why not? Let's equip Maybe we'll stick with this one for the prowess, actually. If we had a diplomacy journal, we'd use that, but we don't. After the boar. So you can see here raiding is very powerful. In a sense here we're using raiding as a way to speed up our getting gold, speed up our economic development. It's kind of a substitute for our last run where we started the landless adventurer and used being a landless venture, completing a bunch of contracts, constructing holdings and so forth, getting dividends for those. We used all that to jumpstart our economy. Here we are going to be using raiding to get gold and try to jumpstart our economy whenever we figure out where we're going to be going, what's going on. Take the stress loss. I would eventually like for this character to be a raider, but I don't know what the best way to do that is. I talked about concubines earlier. I want to see if there are any genius concubines that we could get to our court. Oh, I think this is actually the betrothed of our prior character. Let's romance her and see what we can do here. If we get her to join us, I mean, she's a genius, so that would work out very well. Probably will get caught and lose some devotion, which will be unfortunate, but deal with it. Let our armies reinforced, and then we're going to do some more raiding. Again, if you're a Viking, if you're not doing anything else, go raid. See if Francia and Carpathia are still at war. They are. I think let's be a bit. Well, we'll just, yeah, okay. So there's some good places. Starting there, we'll go raid there. Sardinia owns East Anglia. That's a bit of a surprise. Right, we're gonna get attacked here. Hopefully the disembarkation penalty runs off first. If it's not, we're gonna lose. Okay. Happens. Yep. There is not a lot going right in this game. We'll go back up here. I think let's try to increase the size of our armies just so we can hopefully have a better chance of winning some of these battles. mean, building all these sparring grounds also should help. Don't want to give you any artifacts, and nor do I want to. Alright, well, that's that. Don't want to be in alliance with her or give her artifacts, so I assume we just can't get her to our court. Nope. Alright. Guess we'll see if there are any intelligent women I'm not directly related to that we could seduce or romance. Wait until our armies are fully reinforced, and then we'll go out to continue being the worst Viking raider of all time. Oh, but let's look at our holdings. We can upgrade our sparring grounds. That's interesting. I think I want to build gathering halls instead for the prestige, where we have open slots. Maybe. Let's think about that actually. So where we have open slots, the other option would be to build trade ports, which, you know, do increase our men-at-arms toughness, which is good. Obviously give us taxes. Development is not terribly important as tribal, but I think let's go ahead and build these trade ports. Do cost a lot of gold. We'll also upgrade our war camps here. Try to make our army as powerful as we can so that we can raid effectively and eventually okay, I think we can go with this feast. So we can raid effectively and eventually conquer territory if that's what we decide to do. Alright, time for more raiding. Somewhere. Guess we'll try over here. Frankia and Carpathia still at war? Yes. Looks like Carpathia is actually winning. So again, especially with the deaths of our first two characters, we're just going to be playing this slow. And with this rate, probably going to be playing this game into the 1300s before I get to an opportunity for my personal win condition, which is being the most powerful ruler in the land. Or it's possible that this never happens and this will be our first failure. At this rate, that seems like a real possibility. We'll take the prestige. Take the prestige. Again, because we're tribal. Take this 50-50. Last decision, doesn't matter what we did. interesting. We don't have a lot of gold at the moment, so I think we'll just chill where we are. Surprise, didn't get caught. We'll take her as our concubine. If we have a lot of children, then we really need to get a couple of duchy titles to sort out our succession. But hopefully this character doesn't die immediately the way so many of our first two did. Oh crap. That's bad. Well, we're probably going to lose everything. I guess Hastings' war with Carpathia is over. Yep, now he's going to be coming for me. Please get the hell out of there as soon as you can. Go, go, go. Gonna be close. It's not going to be close. Alright. Alright. Yep. Lost all our gold. Yep. This is really not going well. This has gone very poorly. Where the hell are you retreating to? Alright, so same thing. We're just going to wait until we regenerate. I guess Alba is the Scourge Conqueror, of course. So you got 3 Scourge Conquerors. Man, this is... Yeah. 4 Scourge Conquerors in Europe. That is nuts. That is absolutely nuts. This will get a wet nurse here. Still virtue will change to have our tutor educate our children now. Need to have virtually no champions. Guess let's see if we can have any unmarried women in our court that we could use to bring in some champions. Looking for people that don't have jobs. People who would just say that they're guests or courtiers, that should mean that they will come to our court. But yeah, normally things don't go this badly, even on this hardest possible rule set. But, you know, I think in a lot of ways, when you have a lot of adversity, that makes the game more interesting. You know, you're fairly facing the challenge, and sort of separates, you know, are you a good player who understands the mechanics, you know, from people who are, you know, less experienced and not as familiar with the game. So we are going to see if I can actually achieve something here despite our start. Now look at that. Can I get okay? So I guess I could ally to Hastings. There's no real point in that. Get her married to this guy, I guess. At this point, with all our losses, it genuinely seems like the Pirates of the Caribbean theme that we are the worst pirates anyone has ever heard of, though perhaps they have heard of us. Jesus. So the fact that he's only quick is really unfortunate. I really hoped he would at least be intelligent. I mean, we can't. We'll see if there's some way. We'll have to become a king, likely to change our heir. I mean, we also have to try to do that. I mean, we really just cannot catch any sort of break here. I thought we were playing our last character, our second character, and he was intelligent, betrothed to a genius. At least we would get the advantage of advancing our genetics quickly, but we can't even do that. We're just, everything is going wrong. I think Carpathia is fighting someone else, so we'll try to come down here and raid them. Have to be really careful. This is, another problem with it taking so long because we got stack wiped or what? Let's just go. This is another problem with playing on the hardest possible difficulty is you have all these scourge conquerors that consolidate their lands, and it becomes very dangerous to raid them. But that's the way it is. See, challenge I've set for myself, so let's see how it goes. I think this guy would be a Viking by now. I guess not. Looking to see if we wanted to build any buildings. I guess we don't. Or at least we need, I think, 100 gold to upgrade some of our camps. I mean, the chance. Yes, so what are the percentage chances? So the predicted result of that is 100 gold, but we could get wounded. That's 50 gold straight. Predicted result of that is 50 gold. So I guess percentage-wise, we should really do this one, though it's not going to work. Of course it doesn't. Now we're probably going to die from an aggravated wound. Oh, man. What a die. Well, this is quite the run. Who would our heir even be? Oh, yes, of course. Our one-year-old son who is only quick. So he would be the 4th generation, and we started as quick, and we'd still be quick. Not a genius, not anything else, just the least intelligent trait we could have. Married. We'll try to romance her as well. Don't really care that my concubine doesn't like it. I should probably go to these grand tournaments. What is my prowess? Though I'm injured at the moment, so maybe it's not a great idea. course, our second son is intelligent. So we'll have to figure out a way again to switch around our succession. We might be able to do that with elective titles, but again, we would need to get a duchy title to do any sort of, okay, don't want to be out to get any sort of, we need a duchy title to be able to put an elective succession law on it, which might allow us to use, to rearrange our succession to get our second son here to become our heir. But that means we need to get a duchy title first instead of just being a count. This guy has offered us an alliance, but he is incapable. I have no interest in being his ally. I think we can upgrade our war camps here, so we might as well do that. Try to make our army a bit more powerful. Righteous empath. I don't even know what she would want of these. Righteous. I don't know. I guess we'll try to become an herbalist. Didn't happen. We'll raid this city and then head back. Hopefully we can win that battle. We're not going to win the duel. So we'll do the alternative. Got an intrigue perk, quite strangely. I mean, torture you. Do we? What are our negatives? Oh, we get stress because we're forgiving. Sure. All right. So I probably should have picked a different perk. Another minor mistake on my part. Oh, Jesus, man. This is amazing. I guess I shouldn't have gone to this guy's territory, obviously. Okay. This is really, really unfortunate. All right. I really would like to get in one good raid on this episode. That would be nice. We could do one successful raid on this episode. At this point, that would make me happy. So we are going to just wait. Have to wait quite a while until our forces regenerate, and then we will try to have a successful raid. He is lustful, so concubine's touch. Now friends with my liege. Certainly don't want to give him Sturla. Don't want to give up my great knight here. So we'll lose all that gold that we can't replace because we're the world's worst raider. Alright, once more onto the breach. Looks like Haston is about to die. Also looks like this other Scourge Conqueror in Alba, Britannia, is taking a big chunk of his land, specifically France. Talked about at the end of my last video that, hey, maybe playing in 867 didn't seem that bad. But that was only based on that one sample size. This game, playing in 867, seems like a total disaster. We are not able to get anything done. Take the prestige. Bossy will make a marshal, since we're Vikings after all. Also start educating our second son. Okay, there's some huge army sitting there. I don't think we want to raid here. Guess we could try West France, though we've done that, it hasn't gone well. Maybe we'll try over here. Alba is fighting someone, so hopefully the entire Alba army can't come and attack me. If it does, then that will be yet another loss. Again, just trying to get some raiding going on. Probably use the gold to improve our war camps. Try to improve our military so that we don't lose so many battles like we've been doing. Also, we have for men-at-arms, well, I was about to say we could try to replace one of these two men-at-arms regiments. The problem is we're actually over our regiment limit. That happened because we formed the 4th Regiment when actually our initial character was a duke. And so if we were to eliminate one of these regiments, we would not, we'd be stuck on 3 of 3. So actually we don't want to destroy any of our existing regiments. Could go ahead and increase the size of those regiments, which might help some. I think I'll just take the stress loss here. Let's check on Alba is still at war. They're in a couple of wars. Hopefully that will prevent them from coming to attack me. Keep raiding here. I think I will go for this castle, this city, and then go back home. Do I even have any traits I want to pass on to my son. Not really. Being arrogant isn't too bad if you're tribal, because you get the prestige, but it's not great either. Yay! We successfully completed a raid. Good job, us. So we'll increase that camp. I think we'll wait a month to get one more gold. We'll go out raiding again here soon. I think let's go ahead and increase. So these are archers. Those are spearmen. Increase the size of our army a bit there. See if that helps in terms of going out raiding. And we'll call it an episode for now. Again, just facing a lot of adversity. I'm going to try to fight through it. I hope it's been entertaining to watch, more entertaining than to play through. In any case, thanks very much for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, and I hope to see you for the next episode. Goodbye.